Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome. Typically at an event like this, our chairman, Marty Dickens, would open with prayer. Marty's not here today, so you're stuck with me. But God's still the same, so join me in this conversation. Our Heavenly Father, we just thank you for every blessing in life. We thank you for all the good things that you've done for us. I just pray you watch over our students and keep them safe and well, and watch over our faculty and staff as well, and the whole community. We thank you for this day of celebration, this day to celebrate the return of tennis, and thank you for a beautiful day for tennis. And we ask that your blessings be on each person here. For those who supported this, I just give thanks and ask your really intense blessing on them and all that they do. And I pray all this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Well, good morning. I want to thank all of you for coming out here today. And there are people on the live stream also who are not with us. If you could see the whole scope of things, you see we're all very appropriately distanced today. We're excited to celebrate this new facility. Today we're celebrating the courts. Somewhere in about 2 months we'll be celebrating the facility that's connected for their dressing rooms, their lounge. Who knew athletes needed lounges, but they do badly. And we're just so grateful for all that's been able to be accomplished here at Belmont recently. We are glad to have the tennis teams back on campus for our outdoor competitions. It's been a while since we've been able to do that. We're thankful for the city for the partnership we had to allow them to play down at Centennial Sportsplex over the years, and I guess on rainy days they'll still be there. But it's been a great partnership, and we always appreciate that. I just want to identify a couple of people in our crowd today. I would point to Mike Strickland, our former retired athletic director. Mike, where are you? Over here. Mike had to do a lot of scrambling for a lot of years to make things work for our tennis teams, and of course then Scott got to do that for a few years too. But thank you, Mike, and Mike's going to be my mentor, teaching me about how to sleep late and take deep breaths and retire, right? So thank you. And my other mentor in retirement, Rick Bird, and is Cheryl with you today? But I introduced them because he has become a tennis star, and really Cheryl's the star. But it's good to have them here. I'm also I want you to know the wind's blowing. You know that, don't you? Also want to recognize Ann and Charles Riddle. Ann is the sister of Pat Johnson. Well, thank you all for being here. David Menigan, who's our lead architect on so much of what we do around here, is here. I saw David. Where are you? There he is, holding up his hard hat. Thank you, David. Along with several people who've helped make this possible. I especially want to recognize avid Bruins fan and former Belmont tennis player Pat Johnson, who's seated over here. Pat, welcome. Pat came back to school, as we might say, in the adult program, and joined the tennis team and played for our team. She then didn't leave Belmont. She continued to support the people who are here. She's now fulfilled her dream to establish an endowed scholarship for every sport at Belmont, for the students in every sport. That's remarkable. She and her son Jeff have done that. And we thank Jeff as well. Jeff's an alum of Belmont. Her first scholarship was a Johnson Rotella Women's Tennis Endowed Scholarship to honor her mother, who encouraged her to go back to school after a lengthy absence to raise her family. And again, we're just so grateful for that commitment. And in recognition of her tremendous support, the tennis team's lounge is being named in her honor. I also want to thank David and Nancy Faulkner, parents of senior men's tennis player David Faulkner. As a family, they're supporting Belmont's athletic program through a new endowed scholarship and the naming of the lobby in this new facility. Thank you to the Faulkners. Today I also would recognize Tracy and Michael Johnson. They're here today. Michael was captain of our women's tennis team and recently graduated from Belmont. And we're so glad to have you back. Where are you? Where? You immediately go to the back row, Michael. Welcome home. It's good to have you here today. They have been tremendous supporters of our program. Several other tennis alums join us today, include Becky Diggs, a 1976 graduate of the Belmont tennis program, who has continued to support the program. Becky, where are you? There she is. Thank you, Becky. Felipe Lima, who was a standout on the men's tennis team and helped the team to the 2006 ASUN title and a berth to the NCAA tournament. Felipe, where? Yeah. And I'm saying whatever you're doing now, you still have that same fire. It's burning. Okay, that's great. And also a special guest. Everybody's a special guest today, but I think Jay Wayne Richmond made a special effort to be here today. He's a Belmont alum. He works for the USTA. He is the guy who's responsible for bringing the Davis Cup to the Curb Event Center 3 years ago, I think, where the U.S. defeated Belgium in a great match. And I was telling Jay Wayne, the moment we saw, that moment really helped propel our tennis program forward, and in some ways, I think, helped push us to where we are today. So, Jay Wayne, we're so glad you're here. Thank you. So it's wonderful to have all of you back on campus today. But finally, as Belmont speeds to the future, and I mean, we're going at a pretty fast pace right now with all kinds of things. Look at that guy. Is he going to fall? He's got on his harness, so okay. He's safe. And we're just, everywhere you look, things are happening at Belmont. And, but when we are always looking ahead, it's so important to never forget. We need to look back and thank those who've created the legacy of why we're here today. Our previous outdoor courts were very reluctantly removed about, 7 or 8 years ago when the Johnson Academic Center was created. Those courts were funded by the Joe C. Davis Foundation, and they were still in pretty good shape. I mean, it hurt to tear out those courts. My son was a honorable mention All-American tennis player. When I told him that, he said, "Dad, you've lost your mind." But I didn't want to do it, but we needed to. We needed that space for our dining and academic center and academic space. But I saved the plaque from that facility, and it's now attached to the wall just over here as you enter the doors to the tennis center. That plaque represents the gift from the Joe C. Davis Foundation that was provided by Bill and Bond Deloach to honor Bond's mother, Frances Bond Deloach. For many years, Judy and I made that trip to Duck Pond Court in Greenville, South Carolina, to say thank you to Bill and Bond Deloach for all they've done for Belmont, for all they did for Belmont. And it was one of our favorite trips. And yeah, Greenville is a great city to visit. On the edge of the Smoky Mountains, some great downtown restaurants, and it has the best Hampton Inn in the whole chain. And I'm telling you, I am qualified to tell you that. We stayed in at least 100 different Hampton Inns, and that's the finest one. But it wasn't about that when we visited Greenville. It was about the privilege and the joy of spending time with Bill and Bon DeLoach. They welcomed us into their home every time. Bond always baked something special for us when we were there, and it was always good too. Our time together was such a treat. They are simply two of the best people. And Judy and I'm not making this up, Bill and Mac. They're two of our very favorite people we've ever met since we've been at Belmont. And they just couldn't have been more gracious and kind to us. And I'm especially honored to have her son Bill and his wife Mac DeLoach here today for this dedication. Thank you for creating the opportunity to do this today. Thank you. And to this group of students, these tennis players, and anyone who from the community who wants to use these courts when they're not being used by our students, they're welcome to do that. But to these, especially to our students, I want you to read what it says on the plaque. It says, these courts were given to honor Francis Bond Davis. Use them gratefully. Gratefully. And I guess in my stage of life and where I am right now, to me, I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude for everything good that's happened and is happening at this university. And I really want to challenge you students just to stop and appreciate how many people care for what you're doing and what they're willing to invest to make it happen, and give you that sort of parental lecture today. So use them gratefully. And now to tell you a little more about the impact these courts are going to have on our tennis program, let me introduce our athletic director, Scott Corley.
Thank you, Dr. Fisher. I hope I can do this in honor of Marty Dickens, who can't be here. Marty would always start off by saying it's another great day for Belmont University, and that is certainly the case today. I do want to start by thanking everyone here that's supported tennis and has helped make this a reality. We are forever grateful for your support. But I also want to add, I'm grateful for all the former student-athlete tennis players and coaches that have given their time and efforts and talents to help get this tennis program to where it is today. So I want to thank everyone for that. You know, when I was a student at Belmont back in the late 80s, I had a couple friends on the men's tennis team, and I remember fondly those days of being able to walk across campus on a beautiful spring day, much like today, to cheer them on and watch them compete. And to now be here today, almost 30 years later for me, and to see tennis courts back on campus, it's an incredible feeling and one of gratefulness, as Dr. Fisher uses. It's a special, special time. As far as the impact this facility is going to have, obviously it's going to have a tremendous impact. First off, from a recruiting standpoint, it's going to demonstrate to all the recruits that Mauricio is going after our commitment to tennis, both on the men and women's side. Not many programs at our level are going to have something like this with the courts and the training, the lounge and the locker rooms. Secondly, once we get them on campus, it's going to allow them a better, greater opportunity to develop their skills. Centennial Sportsplex has been great, but as you can imagine, it'll be much easier just to walk across campus and start practicing on these courts. It'd be a lot easier. And then lastly, obviously post-COVID, but when we can get students and fans to come cheer on these teams, I hope the students will take advantage of what I did back 30 years ago and just walk across campus and come watch some really good tennis and cheer on our teams and help them get wins. So all this kicks off, as many of you may know, Friday. Our men play at 9 o'clock against Radford. The women follow up at 3 o'clock. And we can't wait to break these courts in and hopefully get the first of many, many, many wins on these courts. So in closing, I would be remiss if I didn't mention my personal gratitude to Dr. Fisher, and the Board of Trustees and all the amazing support that they've given athletics throughout the years, particularly with these facilities that are being built on this part of campus. We are forever grateful that all of those folks see the value in athletics, and we're going to do everything in our power to make you to continue to be proud in Belmont athletics. So thanks, everyone. And with that, I'm going to turn it over now to Mauricio Antun, who is our director of tennis and coaches both men's and women's programs.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Dr. Fisher. Get a little lower. There you go. I'm not as tall. First of all, I want to express my gratitude to the Board of Trustees, Dr. Fisher, senior leadership, Scott Corley, and our entire athletic department for not only building this amazing facility, but also their continued support and commitment to our tennis programs. We're extremely lucky to have great leadership around our campus. And then personally, I also want to wish you the best of luck in your retirement, Dr. Fisher. The past 21 years, you did a tremendous job with Belmont, so I'm very lucky to be here right now. So thank you. I would also like to thank our current and former players, as well as our assistant coach, Danny Hester, for the tremendous hard work and commitment to excellence in helping our tennis programs grow over the years and helping us become a premier mid-major tennis team in the country. It wasn't too long ago, it was about 6-7 years, that I was a student athlete here at Belmont. I loved every minute of it, and that is why I enjoy coaching this team and representing this university that brought me so many great things in my life. I'm very proud to be a part of this organization, and I'm also extremely proud of our student athletes representing our programs not only on the court, but also in the classroom. I'll never forget the first time I saw these courts. I don't know where Bill Trivet is, but I've been bugging him for so long to get to see them. And it was a very emotional moment for me and my fiance to see how far this program has come since I came to Belmont as a student in 2013. I was so excited that I even FaceTimed my parents that live back in Brazil to show them how amazing the course looked. I pretty much took a 360 lap over here, and it was an awesome moment for me. This facility will not only help us tremendously in recruiting and player development, as Scott said, but it will also allow our students, faculty, and staff to come cheer on their fellow Bruins, as well as allowing our Belmont community to utilize the courts and enjoy playing this great sport of tennis. Both myself and our players are extremely excited to have our first match here this Friday, as we can't wait to call this place our new home, and I'm very excited for the future of Belmont tennis. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Mauricio. And one of the things that we've been missing is that home court advantage, really. Even though we're at Centennial, we're going to get some students out here. And one of the things, if you're not as familiar with college tennis, there's a little more hooting and hollering and a little bit of razzing the other team. But it gets quiet when they get ready to serve. But a lot more enthusiasm than you see in most tennis settings. So it'll be exciting to have that home court advantage. Well, let's cut the ribbon. I don't see the ribbon, but where is it? Oh, way over there. Okay, we're going to cut the ribbon. And does everyone who's part of that know? Yeah, okay. next course. So which course are you on? Bar course. Okay. So those of you who like to stick around a while, please do. Let's see what else. Certainly have other opportunities to support the ministry.